All right, so right now we're leaving Linda's Burgers. By the way, was the food good here, Holmes?
The food was bomb, and it's still good. I swear to God. And you know what was crazy is back then it was like $3 for a junior special. Now it's like $10. You know, and that's what we used to do. We used to all pitch in a couple dollars and boom,
Simon.
get a burger. You know.
I think that's how it is in everybody, homie. Just everybody, like, you know. No, well, you know what? We had Toñas, but it's like, you know, everybody just kind of like pitches in and gets like whatever, homie. You know what I'm saying? And have a little bit of Simon, some comida.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So right here, you're gonna make a left on the little street right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
So right now, where we're going to where
my homeboy passed away. Right there where that bum's at. That's the memory of where my homie passed away.
Oh man, right there where that guy's at, right there?
Literally right there. Like right
wow.
There. And what's crazy is you see that palm tree down there? That's where I grew up. So if he would have just walked maybe like 5 more minutes, he would have been safe. Wow. But these fools
Can we go through this alley?
Yeah, we can get off and pull up, park right there. Yeah, it's cool.
So
nobody trips right here, nothing. This is my neighborhood, so ain't nobody tripping like that.
This is where your homeboy.
This is where my homeboy passed away, right here. Right there, literally right here.
Wow.
We got into a they got into a shootout, some people, some rival neighborhood.
Let's get off real quick. So right here, we're on the corner where Beaver just brought us. And right here, this is where his homeboy Risky passed away,
yeah.
Right? Now, you were saying that there was a shootout that happened.
So what happened was it was a situation that escalated earlier that day.
Yeah.
It was a scuffle that turned worse in the mall. You know, this is way before video really. There was, but there wasn't like clear video, let's say.
Yeah.
Long story short, there was a situation that escalated bad, right? And, you know, shots were fired, whatever. Yeah. And, you know, somebody lost their life that day. So, I mean, the crazy part about it is, you know, when they say you have that feeling?
Yeah.
So I'm kicking it at my homeboy Goofy's house. And this is Main right here, right? We're on Main and Olive. Goofy lived on Estella. Yeah. So we're chilling right there. And that was a place where we used to go and kick it every day. Like every day we'd go kick it there. Yeah. So we're kicking it there and we're drinking. We're not supposed to be drinking, but you know, it's part of the life. We're drinking. Yeah. We have a couple homegirls right there. And my homeboy Risky, like I told you, he moved to Pico, his family, right?
Yes, Simon.
And he's like, hey, dog, like I want to go home. Back then there was no cell phones or nothing, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, you think I go to your mom's house and, you know, borrow the phone so my mom could come pick me up?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, fool. At the time I was strapped too. So I was like, I'll walk with you, fool. Because, you know, you seen how Main is. This motherfucker, you seen people are always driving through there. We got seen like a bunch of people. Yeah. Exactly. So long story short, I'm trying to convince him not to come, but he wants to come home, you know? He wants to go home to Pico.
Simon.
So he's like, you know what? You just got out. Because I just got out that day. That same day I got out from camp. And I was in Camp Challenger. Yeah. And he goes, you don't let my other homie walk you. And I was like, all right. So I gave that homie my gun, right? At a 380. Yeah. And there was only like 6 bullets, a couple bullets left because they had got used, whatever. Yeah. You know? And he walks with him, right? And like I told you, we're so close. We just, like I said, we just come outside and we see or hear something happen. Yeah, Simon. And we heard like, like they were unloading. Damn. And I was like, I know that ain't my gun because I only had a couple bullets, right? Yeah. So we get into my homeboy Robot's car and we jam over here, right? My homeboy Casper lives right here down the street. We're here like in minutes. It was that quick, that like how it happened, right? We pull up. That one vato's right there, in that little brick right there, we found him, literally, right there on that brick, and he was against the fence like this, todo miado. Wow. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, hey, so-and-so, like, what happened, dog? And he's like, this neighborhood pulled up, and they unloaded. And I was like, where's the strap? And he had it right here, and I was like, you didn't even let loose? And like, obviously I'm knowing that the cops are gonna come, right? Yeah. My homie Casper pulled up, everybody's here. And we're like, we gotta jam, you know? My homie's right here, like literally like they ripped his body with puras balas, dog. Man. And I'm pissed, but I know I can't do nothing. Yeah. I take my strap and literally when I lived right here, if you look at that palm tree right there, I lived right there. So if my homie would have walked maybe 5 more minutes, he wouldn't be dead right now, man. Wow. But these vatos seen him, from what I heard through this other guy, they seen him, they cut through the alley. My homie Risky and that vato, right? Yeah. And these fools pulled up here. So when they pulled up here, they see my homeboy Risky. And you know, back in the days, everybody's just active. So they're like, where you from? And he's like, no, shot Bolen. And that fool just unloaded on him. He fell. He went to go chase that vato over there. And that fool just like scared straight. So he goes back laughing from what I heard, you know, that Vato's testimony, and just unloads on my homie like, da, 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 da. It had to be like a 9 or something because it was a bunch of bullets, you know?
Yeah.
And I was upset, I'm not gonna lie, but I know I couldn't do nothing for him.
Yeah.
I go home literally like in minutes, the cops are right here. Fucking, ¿qué pasó? And, I mean, we can't do nothing. We can't even get by because we're all strapped.
Yeah.
So the cops came, they took his body, and it started, that day started a feud with our neighborhood that we didn't even used to rival with. We were like whatever with them. But because of that incident, I lost a lot of good homies because of that. You know, my homeboy Tweety got washed up. A lot of my homies got life. Yeah. Because like I told you, we're a small barrio, but we went back tough on them, you know?
Of course, you know, it's...
But, I mean, in a way, it's senseless, dog, because we were just taking each other out.
Yeah.
And this barrio is like 10 times bigger than us, you know?
But, and you know what they always say, it's like, it's really not the size of the barrio, homie, it's the heart of the homies, you know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Back then, hey, we're willing to die for this. Like I told you, this is all we knew.
Yeah.
Like, and like, you see my homies, it's like we were like brothers. And he was the Vato that told me, like, this is us, you know? So after that day, like, my life completely changed, you know? Like, I said, fuck it, I didn't care. I was always in and out in jail. I was always doing bullshit because of that, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure that... I'm sure that put a lot of anger in your heart.
It did. And I had a lot of, and I just didn't care, you know? I was only 12, 13 years old when this happened, so I didn't care. I was out here banging full force. And even when I went to jail, I was like, I don't care. I was always fighting in there with all my enemies, just trying to make a name for myself. Because, you know, like I told you earlier, that's what my dream was, to be a hood star. You know, I wanted to be known. I wanted Vatos to be like, oh, that's the Beaver right there. And in reality, now that I'm older and I got, let's say, the hood star, I'm just like, what did I get out of it? I didn't get no 401k. I didn't get nothing.
Yeah, Simon.
A name.
Yeah, Simon.
That's all I got.
And you know what's crazy is, as you guys don't see, but, you know, Beaver and myself, you know, when we see cars, even when we're at Linda's, you know, and we see cars start slowing, you know, we're right away, you know, and that's in us, because we're trying to keep up, because you never know, man.
You never know.
You know what I'm saying? You're like,
somebody could just start dumping.
Exactly, you know.
That was one of my homies, so he's good. He's an older guy.
Oh, right. Yeah. Even filming the show, you know, I already had a strap pulled out on me, you know, and so it's like.
And you out here trying to do something good.
And I know.
That's how I understand, though, right?
You know, it happens, homie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It happens sometimes. You know, sometimes homies, you know, we'll get hated on a little bit and say we do, but exactly, I'm glad that you see that we are trying to do something good. You know,
exactly.
Do you mind if we walk? So this is your old house, right here?
Yeah, it's my old house right here. We can walk right here.
Let's go.
I mean, this is where I used to walk every day when I was a kid, 12, 13 years old.
How many years did you live here?
Since I was a little kid, like 10 all the way up to like maybe 18. I got out of Hawaii when I was 19. And like I told you, we all lived right here. If you go right across the street right there, my homeboy Crook, my homeboy Midget, everybody lived there.
Right there.
So we were right here.
You guys were right here.
Yeah, my homeboy Volo, rest in peace, was down the way right here.
Yeah.
My homeboy Robert, Temper, we all lived on the next block. So we're like a small water, like I told you, but.
Yeah, but it's, you know, there could be you guys could be going to war with the water that has 100 homies.
100, and we have 18th Street, Azusa.
But if you guys have the heart of 100, man, that it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're a little bit. So this was it right here, your house?
No, right here. The palm tree right there.
Oh, the palm tree right there.
It's a little walk.
Oh, it's a little walk.
Yeah.
I thought it was closer than what it is.
Yeah, no. It's right there. I mean, I used to walk these streets right here.
We should have brought the strap today, Holmes. You never know.
We should have. You never know, honestly. Right there down the street, my homeboy Monster and Husky lived right there. You know, all my neighbors, they actually petitioned my mom to get thrown out of this house because I would get raided so much.
So you guys, all
these supposedly neighbors, they liked us through my mama. I mean, I don't blame them because, you know, of course, all my homies would kick it right here.
Well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, dang, it brings the property value a little bit down.
Exactly. It does, too. And you know that because it's true.
I know. You know what I'm saying? So, right over here, this is where you were born and raised. Well, not born and raised, but basically raised right here. This is where
I grew up right here. Now somebody else lives there, but this is over here.
Let me ask you.
Kick it on this damn fence all day long.
Let me ask you, how many times do you think you were shot at, or was this house shot at?
Times. This right here, you see all the little white spots? Those are all fillings from the bullets.
People right over here.
Yeah. We'd kick it right here all day long. This is where I grew up at, right here.
Right here.
Right here, yeah. We used to all post up right here.
Wow.
Yeah, and then that's what I was telling you. Everybody knew where we kicked it at.
Right here.
Because we'd be right here, and enemies would be driving up and down. They'll come from right here, or they'll come from right here. And we were like sitting ducks.
Man, so your house was marked as crazy, huh?
Exactly. We were getting dumped. And then, like I told you, we go at it with 18, Azusa, Bassett, big ass Barrio East Side, KHA. Yeah. So there'd always be issues right here. Yeah, I lived here for years. I was maybe like, my mom bought the house, it was like, we were like 10. I was like 10, and then all the way till I was 19. Now we lived right here, and then we ended up getting thrown out because of that. Because I was getting the house raided all the time, always getting shot up. Cops would always come.
How many times was your house raided?
Ooh, like, there was a time I was in prison, they raided this house. And I wasn't even out because I was kicking up so much dust in prison. They thought, okay, he's gonna, you know.
Yeah, he's.
And it was over a carjacking, they came here. Strong arm robbery, they came here. Shootings, they come here.
They come here.
Yeah. I got into a shootout right here down the street because it was my fault though. You know, I had got into a scuffle with my stepdad. You know, and you know I was getting spanked. You know, every kid gets spanked as a kid, right?
Yeah.
But you know, when you're older, you ain't trying to get some fool put hands on you. And even though he was my stepdad, he wasn't like my dad. I didn't have that figure for him. You know, I didn't have that. I felt like he didn't have that authority.
Exactly.
And when I was older, he did something and he was drinking, and I was like, that's it. I told him, don't fucking touch me like that. I'm not like that. I'm not a kid. You can't hit me like that. And he still tried to hit me, so I laid him out. And I regret it. I'll say I regret that. Yeah. You know, because that day, my mom, she picked his side, you know. My mom was like, oh, get out of here, pinche perro. And I told my mom, like, really, you gonna pick this motherfucker over me? Like, that's scandalous, dude, I'm your blood.
Doesn't that hurt, carnal?
It hurts,
when you know, when a parent picks
a partner.
Yeah, a partner.
Even though that's her husband, but still, you know, I was your baby.
Yeah,
and I am the baby. I was the baby of her family, you know.
That hurts for me. Yeah, exactly. And that, you know, in us, that puts hurt, that puts anger,
exactly.
You know, bitterness,
exactly.
And those are some of the reasons why we're out here,
exactly,
doing a lot of things that we're doing,
exactly.
Because you know we have that you know, from that childhood, we take it out on
other people.
Exactly.
And people don't even deserve it sometimes, you know.
No, most definitely.
And I regret it because that day, I had a gun, so I get my gun. I get it from the top. In the top of the house, there's like a little attic where you can hide stuff. I still had my gun up there, so I get it. I get my gun, and she was worried, you know. She's like, "No, mijo, don't do it. Like, don't take off with the gun." I'm like, "Fuck you! You picked that vato."
Yeah.
So I take off down the street. My own mom calls the cops on me, though. She calls the cops, and I'm not knowing that they're looking for me. They pull up on me, and I throw the gun, and when I throw it, it shoots, right?
Yeah.
So they think I'm shooting at them. So now they're dumping, dude. So, you know what I mean? It was a big old thing, but I mean, how you doing? How you doing? Another day, man. Just doing a little filming real quick. Hell yeah.
They know, homie. Yeah. Saying even the people that they probably do it out of fear of you, homie. They probably over here. The vato ain't even a homeboy. He's just like north side.
Yeah. But it's crazy. The people, and look, we don't even live there no more. Yeah. And that's our neighbors right here. So it's like they still remember us from when we were here.
Simon.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little butthurt because, you know, these were like my friends. Yeah. He was my friend growing up, and all these people signed petitions to move us out. And we're just kids, you know? Yeah. I mean, we're bad kids, but it just feels fucked up with the people you used to play up and down the block, sign a petition to throw your mom out, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, but it happens, like you said, it lowers the property value, and in reality, we're bringing nothing but bad to the area right here.
Simon, homie,
getting raided, getting shot at, all that, you know?
Of course, it brings, like, all the neighbors are fearful, homie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, damn, you know what the hell's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because how many times do we hear of innocent people
getting shot,
homie?
And a lot of people.
It happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's done purposely, not that the homeboys do that. We don't do it.
But it happens.
But it happens sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. And you know, now that you're mentioning it, I have 2 younger sisters.
Yeah.
So I can't even like imagine what I would have felt if one day when I'm getting shot at here or being dumb tweaked out with a strap here, if a stray bullet would have hit my house, because my house is right there.
Let me ask you, homie, and I'm asking you very, very serio. If when you were out there, if let's say something would have happened to one of your little carnalas, do you think you'd be here today?
Nah, hell no. I would have been doing life. Even if it was to my brother or anybody. And that was the mentality I had. All my homies knew. I was like I told you, like I was asked questions later. Like, all right, this fool did it, let's go take care of that. Like, no, I wouldn't talk about it, wouldn't message nobody, hey, let's gather a posse. Me and you, let's go. Or just me, you know? That's the mentality I grew up with, you know? And now I'm just like, I was telling you earlier, I want to change, man. I had to pick and choose my battles, you know? Like, I'm not going to just go off and fight at work, because I used to, you know? Fools are tripping at work, I would get down at work.
Yeah.
But I started thinking, like, what example am I setting for my 2 daughters, you know? For my family. And now that I'm older, you know, my sisters, we never had a relationship, because I was in jail all their life. So when we got older, like, they would tell me, like, hey, you know, like how they felt, because I was in jail all their life. You know, they had no brother to protect them, you know? They would tell me, like, hey, where were you at? You were in jail. You couldn't protect me. Yeah, you were big and bad in the neighborhood, but you were never here.
But you weren't here.
You were in prison. What were you doing for us? And I felt bad, you know, because I can't take back those years I took from them, you know?
Yeah.
Like 20 plus years.
Wow, it's a long time, homie.
To be a hood star.
Yeah.
To be a...
Where are we going next, Garnet?
Okay, I said we could go right here to where my homeboy Goofy's house is, right here down the street. We will go in the car though.
Let's go, Garnet. Yeah, we're not gonna walk too much.
Yeah. We're not walking no more.
Yeah, you know.
That's good, right? So my folks, you guys have to walk a lot?
Well, no, you know what? Actually, we usually don't walk a lot. We usually like pull up. Yeah, we'll drive up. So like, let's say we're gonna go to this house. All right, so right now we just left B's his house. And right now we are going to, where are you taking us now?
We're gonna go right here to my homie Goofy's house.
Okay, Goofy.
We could go like by there or anywhere right there.
Why are we choosing Goofy's house?
I would say my homie Goofy's house, because for one, you know, that's the place I got jumped in. My homeboy Goofy's house, yeah. I got jumped into my neighborhood twice though.
Twice?
Because my neighborhood, I'm telling you, it's small, but we got some dumbass rules. Like, one of our rules was you have to get jumped into the clique first and then the barrio. So that's what happened. You know, I got jumped into the clique and I went to YA, and then when I got out, they're like, oh no, now you're gonna get jumped in again. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, all right, fuck. But I have been in YA for 7 years.
Yeah.
So we have to make a right here.
Oh, right here, man. And for those that, and I didn't mean to cut you off, for those, you know, because, you know, we have viewers from, I mean, I've seen viewers from the Philippines, viewers from Japan, viewers like all over the world that watch the show. And for those that know or don't know, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we get viewers from like Ohio, you know what I'm saying?
Cool.
And so what a clique is, he was from the Termites. He's from his barrio, but it's just a group of individuals that, you know what I'm saying, that they're still from there. Yeah, you could explain it if you want. But, and
our thing was like there was like the Precious Few, which is our first clique. Then there was the Tiny Locos, the Pequeños, the Cyclones, the Gangsters. But the biggest clique that ever came out of Northside was us, the Termites. We were like the most active ones, you know. The Malos. There was a bunch of cliques, you know. My wife, she lives down this street right here. That's all I'm telling you.
Right down there.
On Howard. Yeah. So all these little places where my homies lived. My homie Goofy lived right here. Right across down the street, my homie JD lives right here. They named him JD by JD Liquor. We used to stand in front right here. It was Estella. You could turn around.
Yeah, we'll turn around. We'll go through real quick right through your bottle right here. So
yeah.
Hopefully right here. Get shot at.
Yeah, nah, this is Scott right here. My homeboy JD lives right here. He did 18 years in Pelican Bay.
Serio?
And it's sad though, because they were giving him psych meds and they messed him up for life. He lives right here.
Oh man, he lives right here.
That's the chair he sits on because he's disabled now. He's like mentally ill because of all the psych meds they were giving him. He got all messed up because he was real violent, you know. And he went to YA. He stabbed a cop, a CO. And he went to prison. So I seen him in prison and I was like, hey homie, like get out the meds, fool. And he's like, I need them, you know, because the withdrawals are bad.
Yeah.
And I told him, fool, in the long run, you're gonna remember, fool, like it's gonna fuck you up, and it did. Now he just like sits there in the sun.
Wow, homie.
It's sad, dude, like the people you grew up with.
Am I able to
right here, you go through here.
Okay.
Right here down the street is where I went to junior high, Holland. Like I'm telling you, we're a small barrio, yeah. And then right here you make a right, and we just go right there.
At the stop sign, you know?
Yeah, I hear at the stop sign you make a right.
I'm sure, you know, as going through your barrio.
It gives me memories. I haven't been here in years, honestly.
I'm sure you got a lot of good memories, a lot of bad memories, you know? And I know I asked you earlier, but if you were to really put a number on how many homeboys
passed away, over 10. There's a lot of homies. But like I tell you, we're a small barrio, but we're active.
Yeah, Simon.
And we were going at it with such big gangs that, you know, we're gonna get caught. And like I told you, I mean, we thought that it was like being active, posted up right there.
Yeah.
But in reality, we're just like sitting ducks.
You go this way or
right here? You gotta make a right,
and then go left on
the first little street. Right, there's a Stella. Right here, J&D's, we got into a shootout with the cops.
Oh man,
it was crazy. A lot, like they fixed a lot of it up because it was ghetto. Back then there was no streets right here. Right here, you make a left on the Stella.
Shootout with the cops. That must that must have been real feeding, huh?
Oh, that shit was all bad, dog. Because you think you're cool, but in reality, what you're doing is
Simon.
You can park right here. It's right there.
Park right here?
Yeah.
Or go more down.
Or a little more down, yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's right there. Right here is my homie Goofy's house.
Right there?
Yeah, his family still lives here. You can go a little bit down here. I don't want to. Right here. Right here is good.
All right. This is right here when you got jumped into your water.
Yeah, I got jumped into my neighborhood right here. Like I was telling you, J&D's where we used to kick it at, and right here, this is where I got jumped in. I was a little kid, you know, and this was like a spot. You know?
I know that we had talked about at the house. How old you were? How old
I was 12, 13 years old when I got into my neighborhood. 12 years old. Well, I started backing it up when I was 6th grade.
Yeah.
And like I told you, we're a small barrio. So my homie Goofy lived here. It was Goofy, my homie Chubbs, his brother Duende, his brother Chili. He's the one that jumped me in Vampy.
Yeah.
And then if you go down the street right there, my homeboy Gumbly lives right there. Down the other street, like in the middle right there, is my homie Little Boy, Giggler. We all lived right here. We're like blocks.
Blocks and blocks.
Yeah.
And how many of those homeboys are still around? How many of them are doing well, man?
Really, a lot of them. See what messed up my neighborhood? Well, how the cops, they were able to control us.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us, they didn't have papers. A lot of my neighborhood, they were not born here.
Simone.
So what they did is, after that shootout and shit got really crazy, you know, with us and other neighborhoods, they started deporting everybody to Mexico. So a lot of my homies are in Mexico right
over
now.
There.
They're in Rosarito, you know?
Yeah.
Like 20, 30 of them.
Oh man,
there's a lot of them over there, you know, and I feel bad because you know what, here we are thinking that we're gonna be together doing this for life.
Yes,
everybody took different roads, you know. Some got deported, some got washed up, and you know, like you see my homie Minor, some of them are still around.
Yeah,
you know?
Some of them are still out here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like some of them, and I'll be honest, man. And if we're being real, some of your homeboys will still be out here till they're 50, 60, 70.
I have a lot of homies that are still out there like that.
And that's the reality of the lifestyle. Why do they do that? It's just because that's what they've become accustomed to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they know. You know, I have, you know, talked to homeboys, talked to different, you know, gente that they just don't feel right being out of their element. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel right. Agree. Exactly. They don't feel right being there like, man, homie, you know what? This is my barrio, homie. You know what?
This is where I want to be.
Yeah, this is where I want to be. You know, you know, like there's that saying that, you know, you could take the homeboy out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the homeboy. But many times you can't take the homeboy out the hood either, homie.
You can't, yeah. Because I have homies like my homeboy Robot. He still lives right here.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like 50 something. A lot of my homies, you know, they're born and raised here. They've been around since I was a kid, and they're still here.
Yeah.
Still active, you know. But they have houses, they work.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like they just, like you said, they don't want to leave because this is what they love.
That's what they love.
And you know, they're productive now. And like I said, we still chop it up. And shout out to all my homies, like I was telling you, that are doing good and that are doing bad, you know.
Yeah.
I wish them better, you know. I wish them, I hope they get that help.
If there's anything that, you know, as we're out on the concrete of your barrio, this is your neighborhood, that you could, you know, convey to your homeboys that you wanted to see, what would you tell them, homie? I
just want to say, I mean, a lot of them, they still follow me and we still keep in touch. And I just want to make a promise to them that the day that I make it like how you said it, you made it, that when you felt it, I'm never going to forget my neighborhood, you know, and I'm going to try to do more for them, you know. And, you know, and not in a sense of like, hey, I'm going to give you money to get high. I'm like, I'm going to do more in the sense of like, if you need that help, I'll help you get help. Like we spoke earlier, is like, we all suffer from different addictions. And a lot of my homies suffer from addictions to dope and all this shit, because it happens, you know, we've been there. And I just want to tell them that one day I'm going to be able to give them the help I feel like we need. And I'm not going to turn nobody down. I'm not going to judge nobody. And I'm making a promise to my homies and to this block, you know, to my neighborhood, that whether you're in Mexico or you're here or you're 6 feet under, like, I'm going to keep that legacy going in a positive way.
In a positive way.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because like we were talking, it's good to get that fame. I got that fame of being, the hood star, being good, known, but it's like I want to give back, you know. I took from these streets, I want to give back to them, you know, in a positive way.
Let me ask you one question that I ask, and you know, you're a veterano from your neighborhood, homie, and there's youngsters out here, homies. There's youngsters right now that are 13, 14, 16. If they saw you and they said, hey, homie, you know what? I know you did, homie. You did 20 years for the barrio, homie. Sabes que, homie? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to put some work in, homie. I'm going to bury some of our enemies, homie. You know what I'm saying? And I hope I make you proud. That's it. You know what I'm saying? The way that you did all that tiempo for our barrio, homie, I'm going to put it down for you. That's it.
Yeah.
What would you tell them, homie?
Honestly, like, the old me would have been like, I'm proud of you, though, because that's what we're supposed to do. That's where it's embedded in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be 100% honest. The reason why I don't come around really like to school the new generation is because I'm afraid to poison them again. Like I told you, when I was a youngster, there was older homies that were telling me, like I told you, hey, this is yours, homie, this is you.
Yeah.
And that's still in my mind, you know? So until I feel that I'm 100% capable of saying, hey, you know what, I'm gonna lead you in the right direction, I'm not gonna speak to them, because you know, I look at it like, if I can't bring something good to the table, I'd rather just you be you and you be me, I be me, you know.
I appreciate,
because I don't want to poison them, you know. I feel like I did enough damage.
Man, you know what, you have no idea. Hearing you say that, it's man, you're being so real.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know what you guys are hearing, what he's saying. He's basically saying, you know what, and correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong anyway, please correct me. He's basically saying he really doesn't know what he would tell them. He doesn't know if he'd say, you know what, homie? Oh yeah, homie, go in and put that work in for the barrio, homie. You know what I'm saying? Get your name out there, homie, and you know, hey. Or he might say, you know what? So in other words, are you conflicted a little bit?
I mean, in a sense, I would say it's like, because for years that's what got embedded into my head. It's just you got to be out here, and I took that to prison.
Yeah.
I took it to the system with me.
Yeah.
And I noticed when I got out, that's what I was doing. Yeah. I was 20-something, still jumping in kids, and I started thinking like, damn, I'm 20 years old, jumping in a 14-year-old. And what I got, which is bad, I would say, is I learned like Tolica. You've heard of it in prison, right?
Yeah.
So it's a form of speaking to a person where you get in their mind, you know, and that's what I did. And for years I thought I was doing good work. I thought, hey, you know what, I'm making solid ass vatos, like minor, monster, little monster. These guys, they'll come to my house, hey, you need a gun? Like, be careful, hey. And I would teach them, hey, if something happens, toss the gun. Or hey, you know what, do this, do that, whatever, right? Show them the ropes.
Exactly.
Once I started getting older, I started like thinking about it, like, what am I showing them? How to be a killer, how to be a gang member, how to sell drugs, how to cut dope, how to get away with a murder, how to do crazy shit. I started thinking about it like, I ain't doing good. I'm poisoning these kids, you know? That's why I stepped back, because I was like, you know what, like, I don't want to poison people like that. And even though in my heart back then I thought I was making solid as vatos, like, that's a solid camarada.
So you actually, hearing from your own words, you're actually realizing that you were poisoning these youngsters.
I was poisoning these kids, man. Wow. But I did it because somebody poisoned me. Like somebody gave you that propaganda, like, this is your barrio. When in reality, it's not.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow, that's heavy.
You know, and that's why I want to be like that person. And my goal is to be a motivational speaker to youth and tell them, hey, you know what? Like, if you're walking that life, you walked it, right? But don't make it your whole life. Because, you know, at the end, when you get to the top of that totem pole, there's no 401k plan. There's no glory. You know, you're gonna sit in a cell doing life. And I've met lifers that are content. I've never met a lifer that says, I'm happy today. Never. Because you know what? You're not gonna run into it. You know, and what's sad about me is that at 20 years old, I was already content with doing life. I knew that was gonna be me. I was gonna be a lifer, locked up, slammed down somewhere, validated. And what's fucked up is these are the goals I had in my mind. Like, I'm gonna be in the back. I'm gonna know this fool. I'm gonna know that. And when I walked that journey, it's like I ran into them and I was like, dude, this is the same people I looked up to, and now I'm one of those people. And I have a choice. I'm either gonna do good with this power of speaking or do bad. Continue to poison the kids. So now when I talk to kids, I tell them, hey, you know what? There's more out there, though. There's so much more than Northside. There's so much more than Pico, Puente, Bassett. Exactly. It's a world, dog. You know what I mean?
Simon.
Live. I never used to go eat nowhere that wasn't Linda's. Or I wouldn't eat nothing that was Pizza Co. You know, now I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to Benihana's. I'm going to go to Applebee's. I never been to Applebee's. I went to Applebee's. You know, I explored. Simon. I took classes on how to eat good.
Yeah, Simon.
You know what I mean?
Simon. Wow. You know what, Bees, gracias. Right now we're gonna be headed back to the house, and we're gonna wrap up the interview and continue watching. And this is Barrio Driven. So right now we're headed back to the studio. We're gonna wrap up our episode with Beaver, and quick question: How'd you get your nickname, homie?
The way I got my nickname was, I mean, it's an ugly ass name, you know, but for years I hated it. Like Beaver, I hated it, but I got my nickname from my mom. My mom, she came to the United States in the 70s, right? And in that era, they were filming the Leave It to Beaver show. You go turn around right here, then go back on main right there. But so she didn't know no English, but she loved that show, Leave It to Beaver, because it reminded the guy Beaver was clumsy, and me, if we kick it a lot, you'll see I'm real clumsy, always bumping into stuff, dropping stuff, breaking stuff. So she gave me that nickname of Beaver. That's actually my family name. So when I got into my neighborhood, you know, I wanted like a firme name, like Joker or like Sparky or something firme, right?
Yes,
but everybody, all my cousins are from Northside. They knew me as Little Beaver. They'll be like, hey, that's Little Beaver right there. So it just stuck to me, you know?
It just stuck to you.
And I mean, now it's like I'm using it as my comedy name too, you know, because I want to keep a piece of who I was, but mold it into, like I was telling you, like a new me. You know, now I want to have a positive impact and still keep the roots, like stay rooted.
Exactly. And we're going to definitely, as soon as we get back to the studio, we're going to talk about that you started stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. I never would have thought I did it,
From being incarcerated for more than 20 years.
25 years almost. More, give or take,
25 years plus to doing comedy.
Yeah, it was a crazy twist.
I was going to say that. How did that happen?
The way it happened was because, you know how when you're home with your homies, see how we just joke around?
Simon.
So I always had that good sense of humor, you know, like joking around. And I wanted to do comedy, but like I didn't know if I was going to be good or if I could speak good. So I was talking about it for years, and one day one of my coworkers, knowing that I'm a procrastinator, signed me up for an open mic. They're calling my name, like, you know, Victor Zapata, and I'm like, why are they calling me? Like, did I lose my cell phone? Like, what the fuck, you know? And no, they're like, oh, you're next, open mic. And then, so I go up there, and then, or whatever, And then, so I go up there, and I do good. I do like 9 minutes, no written material, just talking about stuff that I do. You know, kicking it with the homies, joking around. And I fell in love with it. You know, just because like I was telling you, I was respected in my hood, and I got that feeling, right? Now I got a different kind of respect from the audience. You know, like to capture their attention. You know, and I fell in love with it. I love doing shows, and I love the main reason why I love comedy is because back in the days, chinos, let's say other ethnicities, were scared of me. The way we look, you know? Now they go to my shows. White people, old ladies, can I take a picture with you? And I'm like, dude, like if you knew like how I was before, straight criminal, like prison, level 4, crazy, right? And now I'm making you laugh. Yeah, crazy.
I'm, you know, just seeing the smile on your face, that must bring joy to your heart.
It does.
You know? That's a good thing. See, homie, it's like, and you know what? I'm gonna say something, and please know that, I mean, no offense, because I'm not, we try to come with the highest respect.
Yes.
If you would have probably started doing comedy instead of being, you know, active in your barrio years ago, you probably, who knows, you could have been a multi-millionaire.
I think I would have made it.
You might have been, you know, really out there.
I think so.
But you know what, homie? It's never too late, homie.
Yeah, that's the same.
It's never too late,
I agree with that. I thank you.
And I only said that because, you know, I didn't want you to get like, wow, make you feel bad. Or
no, hell no.
It's like, you know, but it's never too late. You know what, carnal? And we're gonna show on the episode few clips of your comedy.
And I've done big shows. I've done the Ontario Improv. I've done Morongo Casino, Aguascalientes, the Laugh Factory. I did a show at the Laugh Factory on Chocolate Sundays, which is all black lineup, and I was only Rasta. I had them dying.
That's right.
Because I just looked at it like, we're both minorities. We're both on the same boat. Why are we out here clashing? Like we're on the same boat, you know.
And that's what's crazy because exactly, you know what I'm saying. We over here, it's like the two minorities we clash.
Yeah. Imagine if we had more, at least a sense of being cordial. Simon. The possibilities would be like unbelievable.
Yeah, Simon.
Exactly.
Simon. Wow.
Que de la merde. Maintenant, au moins, tu n'as plus rien.
Wow, we just got back from your body, your neighborhood, you know, and we ran into a couple of your
homies right there.
You know,
we're still running around
out there, you know, because, you know, like exactly what they said. If he wouldn't have been there with me, your homeboy, Minor actually said he would have dumped on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, homie, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, sheesh, you don't know how many times I've heard that already. It's like, dear Lord, you know, I thank God that God's always protected me, you know. But, you know, and especially when you go into someone's barrio, you know, you can't just like, I can't just go in by myself and walk into, you know what I'm saying, Florencia, say, hey, what's up, everybody? How you? Nah, that's a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure that, hey, you know, you're with somebody from the body, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I'm an outsider, so you gotta give the homeboys their respect, you know, and with every barrio that we go to, we make sure that we let them know, gracias for welcoming in there, you know what I'm saying? Because they could say, hey, homie, we don't want you here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it could happen, that's true.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so, gracias, homie.
Yeah,
you know,
thank you for going with me, yeah.
I was gonna tell you, you know, we saw, you know, we went to the place where you first got jumped in.
Yeah, that was my homie Goofy's house, yeah.
We went to your old house that got raided, I don't know how many times.
It was crazy. It's sad because like I was speaking with you about is I grew up there. I had a lot of good memories and a lot of bad memories too, but you know, I kind of held a little bit of resentment towards my neighbors because, like I told you, they petitioned my mom to get thrown out, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that's sad. Like, these are the people we used to play kickball with.
Yeah.
And here you are signing this petition against the lady that used to help you guys, lend you money, or just lend a helping hand, or, you know?
Yeah.
And, I mean, but it was my fault. Now that I'm older, I realize, like, so much bad I did there, you know? My homies would kick it there. We'd be posted up, strapped, doing drugs.
Exactly. You know, you got to think that...
The harm I was causing.
They're probably afraid, too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, when, you know...
Because when we moved, they were happy.
Oh, of course. You know, I don't know if when we were over there right in front of your house, the neighbor, the owner of the house came out and he didn't even tell us nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until the guy with the truck came.
Yeah, the guy.
But yeah, I would have.
Like,
I know if you were in front of my pad, and I would have came out and said, hey, what are you doing here, dog?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, they didn't even say nothing.
Yeah, they
were like, they probably saw us and they're like, oh, damn, you know.
We're good.
Yeah, they're like, they didn't even want to say nothing. You know, you know,
the fear they live in. And you know what's I mean, I find it funny now, but it was like, imagine the fear they lived in, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Getting my house, you know, raided all the time. Yeah. And, you know, I'm just like, damn, I felt bad, you know, the stuff I did to them. Like, there was this one situation where we went to my house, and like I showed you right there, where the cops raided my house, right? Yeah. And I was sitting in the car with a strap with one of my homegirls, whatever, and we just did some dirt. And they just like swarmed that whole street. Like cop cars, helicopter, everything. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, they even had my neighbor. That was living next to me, he had nothing to do with it. They had him at gunpoint. Wow. And I was like, man, he doesn't have nothing to do with it, man. Like, let him go, man. Like, he's good.
Yeah.
But they thought just because he was around us, like, he was doing something.
That he was doing something.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's the harm and the damage we don't think about that we're doing, you know?
Exactly.
But it was the life we lived, you know?
Yeah,
so exactly. We know no better, you know?
You know, it's crazy because sometimes I tell a lot of our guests, you know, when you're a youngster and you first hold that strap for that first time, you feel that sense of power.
Yeah, it does give you a sense of power.
It gives you a sense of power knowing that you could take another human being's life.
Yeah.
You know
some people get addicted to that.
And I was about to tell you, but the first time is never that easy one.
Yeah, but my first time was hard, yeah.
But after, it tends to just become easier and easier. As you said, we become desensitized.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's a horrible thing.
That's sad.
And that's because of those decisions is why we suffer from PTSD, why we can't sleep at night, why we, battle with alcoholism, I'm saying, or drug addiction, whatever the case may be.
Exactly, whatever you do to numb the pain. But in reality, I feel like
you're only hurting yourself, homie.
Exactly, you're only hurting yourself, and that's why I told you sometimes how I feel.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know I'll never act in any way, harm myself or anything. It's just like I want to be able to say, hey, I feel this. Yeah. I feel that, because for years I didn't feel nothing. Yeah. Like you said, you desensitized yourself. Yeah. The first time I used the gun, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I even turned away, and it was like destiny. It hit.
Yeah.
And like you said, little by little, it becomes the norm. You just don't care. Life is nothing to you. And now that I'm older and I have kids, I have a wife. I see my mom, how old she is, and I'm like, I feel so bad for the trauma that I put my mom through. How much she suffered seeing me in a cage and knowing that I wanted to be in that cage.
How much trauma do you think you caused your mom, honestly?
A lot. I know a lot of her illnesses are because of me, because I'm the only one that's really been as bad as I am. All my brother went to prison one time, ran into, that was it. He was good. Yeah. Never. And then my sister's never really been in trouble like that. Except me was constant. And right now that we're talking, I'll share this with you. I drove by Homeboy Industries, right?
Yeah.
And my mom was friends with Father G, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say it publicly, and I'm apologize to him, because my mom used to always send Father G to talk to me all the time, and I'd be like, you know what, stop coming, because at first I wanted that comfort, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure he doesn't even remember me. But I'm saying it right now. But one day I'm gonna personally go in person and apologize to him, because he didn't deserve that. He's a good man, but I thought he didn't have good intentions. I thought, what is he trying to do? Now that I still see him and I hear of him doing good, I'm like, dude, this man was sincere, man.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm sharing this with you and on your podcast. One day Father G goes visit me, right? And this is when I'm going to YA, and I'm like, dude, this is I'm done, right? Yeah. He used to go see me in juvenile hall, and I tell him, stop coming, man. There's no hope for me. And he would still go, and I started denying his visits.
Yeah. Wow.
And I feel so bad, because this man was trying to help me.
Yeah.
So that's why now I'm publicly apologizing to him, because I know he was sincere. I know this man was sincere, and I didn't really dawn on me till one day we're driving by. We went to Live and Die in LA show. Yeah. We go and we passed by Homeboy Industries, and I shared it with my wife, and I'm like, man, I was so bad to this man, who was genuine about it.
Yeah.
He had a good heart. He had a good cause.
For those that don't know who he is, Father G is someone that, man, you can say he's been a pillar in the LA community
for years.
I mean, this priest, this father, did man.
He did a lot for people who needed the help, didn't need the help, and still need the help.
And you know what? He's built. Homeboy Industries. He's helped so many. Homeboys. Change their lives around.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's that's who that gentleman is. And he was reaching out to Beaver and
to help me.
Yeah, and as he said, Beaver just said.
Because I was young, and now that I'm older, I was young, I was dumb, and I didn't feel he was genuine. And now that I see him still on that path, helping Raza. Yeah. One day I know, because now, like I said, life is about, to me, before it was about being that hood star, being a somebody. Now to me, life is about, walking right. I know.
What I didn't mean to cut you. What is life about now? For
Beaver, for me, Victor Zapata. Life is about making my wife happy, making my kids proud of me.
That's right.
My mom lost so much for me, and my dream, when I make it, and I know in my heart I'm going to make it, because I'm going to fight for my career as a comedian, as whatever, my book that I'm going to release. I'm going to fight for that as hard as I fought to be at the top of the criminal totem pole,
If you fight that hard,
you're going to make it.
I promise you.
Thank you.
I promise you, you'll make it.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
If you fight that hard, you'll make it.
Yeah.
Because here I am, Vince Romo. I don't have no high school diploma.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I only went to high school my and this is, I've never shared this before, my sophomore year, my first semester of my sophomore year, I got kicked out for fighting with Pico Nuevo. You know, our barrios don't get along.
Yeah, old rivalry.
Yeah, and so it's like, you know, right away. I never, you know what I'm saying, I don't have, as I'm trying to tell you, I don't got no degree, I'm not educated, and here I am. I've done over 50 films. Mundo, Shadow Boxer, Monstro, I mean, The Neighborhood. I produce Southland Bounty Hunters with Patty Mayo. I produce Fox Recovery with Trevor O'Connell. I'm going to be producing a prank show with Vitali, if you guys know Vitali or not. I'm going to be opening a tattoo shop out in Miami. And all the things that I've been able to accomplish, and yet I don't have
no credentials, no schooling. You did it with your own willpower.
Nothing. Yeah,
the grace of God.
Exactly, by God's grace. And that's one thing I always tell people. It is God. I always give. If you guys follow me at all on my social media it's all God. And that's the one thing that I'll tell Beaver too. You know, it's because of God. Homie,
yeah, I'm still here.
That you're alive.
I believe it.
It's because of God that you're here today.
Yeah,
and God does have a purpose for you.
Yeah,
that's the reason why that pencil, that stabbing didn't kill you.
Yeah.
That's the reason why, you know what I'm saying, you're still alive today.
Yeah.
Because you know what? God ain't done with you, Beaver. And you know what? You have you're a stand-up comedian. All of us at Barrio Driven wish you the best and only much huge success. I want people to know where they could find you, where they can support you, all your social media platforms. Give it now. Okay,
so my Instagram is Young Beef's Comedy. My YouTube is Young Beef's Comedy. On TikTok, Young Beef's Comedy. Facebook, Young Beef's Comedy and all that too. And I wanted to mention before we go, I have a book that I just finished writing. It's called Misled Kids. And in that book, it's going to be a trilogy. The first book is going to talk about my ride from juvenile hall to YA and everything I endured in detail and in depth. And then the second book is going to be county, when I went to county, all the trauma I went through. Because when I was in jail, I got shot in my ear. You know, that's why I can't hear. So, I mean,
I didn't know that. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
What happened?
So when I'm in prison, in county, right? So I'm going in and out of county, and there's going to be a riot. It's going to happen. You know, everybody knows when it's going to happen. Everybody knows. It's no secret.
Everybody has to go.
It's going to go. Exactly.
Go time.
And in this situation, we're in Wayside, right?
Yeah.
And this is when I knew that I had a power of speaking, and that's why I want to be a motivational speaker. Because when I would talk to the homies, they'd be like, "Oh man, like it makes sense."
Yeah.
And so that day we're all chilling, and we know we're gonna riot with the cops. We had to go against the cops because some stuff had happened, and I know these guys are scared. We had been on lockdown, and you know, when you're on lockdown, you don't get nothing, right?
Yeah.
So we're sitting in Wayside, and we got a little bit of food. So I got a little bit of food, right? We had maybe like 4 sopas. I'm not gonna say it was a bunch. It was like a couple sopas, eggs. Everybody pitched in, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Why are you eating? Like, we're gonna riot tomorrow. It's crazy." And I told them, "Look, Jesus used to break bread with his disciples. I said, you guys are like my disciples. And I don't want to be your Jesus, but I am in that place of Jesus, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm breaking bread with you because you know what? Tomorrow we got a big day. Tomorrow, and I told them straight out, some of us ain't gonna make it. Yeah. You know, and I told them, because I seen some of them being scared, and I told them, look, if you're scared, it's okay, because I'm scared. But let me tell you one thing, when that door opens, we're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna rock and roll, and I promise you, I'm gonna be the first one in and the last one out. And I did. As soon as that situation happened, the cops opened the door, we rocked and rolled. We rocked and rolled, and unfortunately I ended up getting shot because I'm on this cop, right? And I'm just like beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
So when the cops come in, they come in with Big Bertha, and by rules, they're supposed to shoot you waist down.
Yeah.
But I was like this, beating on this fool so bad, he shot me and he hit me in the ear, right? So I fall, and some homies drag me, man, and I'm knocked unconscious. And I wake up because I'm like in war mode, like war, right? So I jump up and I just hear like this weird sound, like mom, 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 and I feel the blood. But I'm thinking, okay, maybe like, cause when I fell. So when everything's all said and done, the riot got contained. I don't want to get help Because if I get help, they're gonna know I was involved.
Yeah.
But I started noticing that I couldn't hear good out of my eardrum. So finally I get help, and it's a couple of days after, and I tell the nurse, like, hey, I can't hear good out of my ear. So then I go to a specialist, and the specialist tells me, like, your eardrum is it's like damaged. So you have an eardrum like this.
Yeah.
So I have like a piece of an eardrum. Wow. So now I go to prison, and I'm considered disabled. I have to wear a hearing vest.
Yeah.
And I manipulated that to my benefit, to do more bad, you know?
More bad.
And so with that situation, like, I could have stopped. You know, I lost my hearing, I lost my family, but I was so deep, like, into the game that I was like, this is my life. This is all I'm gonna be. I lost my hearing, and I lost my life, you know, almost, you know?
Wow.
But it didn't stir me to stop.
To change your life.
I just used it to do more bad, because since I was in a vest, I always got movement in prison. So if there was a lockdown, I got movement. And even with the cops, when they would try to do fucked up shit to me, I would be like, hey, I can't hear. I'm hearing impaired, you know? Yeah. But, you know, it was conniving. I manipulated the system, and, you know, like I said, it wasn't the right thing. Now that I'm older and I'm trying to change, I know what I did was wrong. You know, I should have never done that.
Let me ask you, Karna, and you know, it was crazy because we're about to end this video and while this episode, and you started hitting on some things that, you know, hey, we'll keep talking. Yeah. What made you change your life, Karna?
What was
it? Because this person right here, this doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You don't go from, you know, going out here and, you know what I'm saying, hey, homie, go time, you know what, in that warm, to, hey, well, check it out. Now I'm a comedian and now I'm relaxed. Yeah. What happened, Karna?
Like, to me, it's like that person is always going to be in me.
Of course.
It's always going to be somebody, but at least now I know how to control it.
Yeah.
And even when I started being a comedian, I was still like driving, going to shows with a gun. Yeah. You know, I was still active like that. Yeah. And what really made me change was I got busted in 2019. Again, I went to county, right? I was driving drunk and I had a gun. Yeah. Because I did a show, I get into it with some people, whatever happened, and the gun was never found. But like you said, the grace of God, right?
By God's grace,
I get popped, and you know, it's kind of sad that the cop's like, don't make me do your job. And he's like, just tell me what you threw. So I told him, what do you want to hear? Like, you know, your job is your job, and you know my job. So he, off the back, we're answering questions. Yeah. He knows that I'm a career criminal. I'm never going to make his job easier. I told him, do your job, homie. That's your job. My job is to do this, you do that. Yeah. So obviously he doesn't, and they never find the gun, whatever. Long story short, they booked me because I'm driving drunk and I had warrants, all kinds of stuff. I go to Theo Lacey, I get busted in Orange County, and I'm just like, damn, here I am doing this life again. Yeah. But I'm thinking it's gonna be all good. So when I go to Theo Lacey, I'm thinking I've been out of jail for a little while. Maybe my past won't haunt me. Yeah. Because when you go to county, you're supposed to be honest. Like, hey, I was validated. Hey, I was this, which I was. I was validated. Yeah. There's a bunch of crazy stuff on my jacket, whatever. And when I don't look like that. Yeah. Here I am getting booked for a DUI and some bullshit. Yeah. So the cops don't think that. So they put me in a low security unit when I'm supposed to be high security. Yeah. But I'm not gonna confess. Do your job, homie. That's the way I think. Yeah. So I go to Theo Lacey and I'm in a low security unit. And the Gooners is like the internal affairs, they say in there, like gang task people. Yeah. They know that I'm not supposed to be there. Yeah. They see my name and they're like, oh, hell no. This one needs to be in high power. Yeah. So they come into my cell and they raid my cell. Boom, where's everybody at? Where's the drugs? And I was like, dude, I don't have nothing. I've been out for a while. That's not me. Yeah. And so they see my file. They send me to high power. Here I am in high power and I'm like, fuck it. Back to active mode, back to war mode. Yeah. Sleeping, no sleeping, all day, working out. I'm back into that zone, right? Yeah. And we're working out and I'm still keeping up. I'm doing my thing. But little by little, I start seeing how the whole get down's different, man. Like, there's always been people getting high. There's always been shady movidas in the system. But this one time, I seen so much shade. It was like nobody cared about being ready. Nobody cared about being sober or being on your toes. Yeah. People were more like nonchalant, more chilling. Yeah. And in my mind, I was like, dude, here I am giving my life for these people 24/7. I lost it all. My mind's so jacked up and these guys don't care. Wow. These guys are asleep at 10 o'clock. These guys are getting high behind people's backs. And I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm tired of living for somebody else. This time I get out, I'm gonna live for myself. And it's a constant struggle, but I'm doing it. You know, like I said, I'm doing comedy now, and I love doing comedy. My dream is to be a motivational speaker.
That's right.
Go talk to the youth and tell them, you know, because people are like, oh, what do you have to offer? And I tell them, you know what I have to offer is hope.
Have a lot. You have
hope.
Wow, that's heavy.
Hope.
Yeah.
You know, because when I was in YA or in prison, the only thing that kept me alive was hope. Hope that I was gonna get out. Hope that I could do better.
Wow.
You know, and I want to speak to schools. I want to speak in juvenile hall.
That's right.
I mean, I doubt they let me because of my jacket, but it's a dream, you know.
Yeah.
And my books are gonna be it's gonna be out pretty soon. Make sure you check that out. Misled Kids.
Okay.
It's talking about like everything that I went through in juvenile hall.
Yeah.
Second book is gonna be from county to prison.
Yeah.
And all the struggles I went there, and I'm gonna disclose whatever I can, I can't, you know. And then, now like
now you're doing
how we're sharing that.
Yeah.
My dream was to be a lifer. My dream was to be in a cell and hold this so-called power. And now look at me. I'm a comedian. I'm a positive influence for the gente.
That's right.
I'm doing more, and I want everybody to know that sitting at home and here's this podcast, you can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it.
That's right. One more time, you know what? I want to ask everybody, support this young man.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? If you see him, have a show, come on out, gente.
Yeah.
You know what? Support this man. You know what, Raza? We need to build up each other.
Yeah.
We need to, instead of knocking our own people down,
Exactly.
we need to help raise each other up. Give your social media one more time, just because, we want to make sure.
No worries. So my social media on Instagram is Young Beef's Comedy, and my on Facebook, Young Beef's Comedy, TikTok, Young Beef's Comedy. I'm gonna have a show in April 1st in Hansford, California. If you're up north, make sure you check it out. I got a lot of shows that are going to be dropping pretty soon. Make sure you stop by, check it out. I get a good laugh.
Show 'em, and don't forget to follow me.
Oh yeah.
Instagram, Vince Romo. Simple as that. _ Vince Romo _. Thank you, gente, for tuning in. Stay blessed. This is Barrio Driven.